Hey everybody, Jeremy from the Snowboard Asylum. In this video we're going to be looking at the new 22-23 Nidecker Escape. If you're one of those riders that loves to get out and charge around on the piste and in the power, then the Nidecker Escape could just be the board you're looking for. Designed by some of the most renowned freeride snowboard designers in the industry, this stunning all-mountain freeride board delivers outstanding performance no matter how hard you push it. Built around an advanced diamond tip directional shape featuring directional CamRock, this state-of-the-art snowboard has been specially designed to deliver effortless float in deep snow, but with a solid and stable edge hold on the piste. But the Escape isn't just all about its shape. Take a look at what's inside and it's equally as impressive. Its combination of the high quality master wood core, carbon reinforced structural layers and super fast N7000 base ensure that the Escape has the performance to realise the potential that that advanced shape design creates. Now, listening to this, you'd think that the Escape is just about hard charging, but it's not. It's about way more than that. On those days when you just want to cruise around and explore the resort, it's equally at home. Its ability to swap between hard charging freeride board and cruisy all mountain board really sets the Escape apart from many other boards in its category and kind of transforms it from regular freeride board into a more daily driver focused freeride board. So to put that in simple terms, if most of your riding consists of cruising around on the piste, hitting up the power when it's dumped and charging early morning groomers, then the Escape is the kind of board you need to be riding. If you don't do spins in the park, why buy a board for spinning? Now, great as the Escape is when stacked up against other boards in its category, there's one thing that really does make it stand out. Now, I've saved this bit until last because I wanted to get across that the Escape is a performance board in its own right. It's a board that you buy because it rides so well, but you can't really talk about the Escape without mentioning its price. It undercuts many of its rivals by a lot of money, creating what I say is quite possibly the best value for money snowboard on the market. So let's take a look at the Escape in a little bit more detail. Well, shape is where we need to start. It's a tapered directional shape. What that means is the nose is wider than the tail by 2 millimeters. Having that extra little bit of width on the nose just gives you a little bit more floating powder, just makes the nose more stable, lets it cut through chop and crud a lot easier. That nose is also 6 centimeters longer than the tail, and that extra length again just kind of makes the board cut through stuff and ride powder a lot easier. It also gives you a shorter tail as well, so you can really sit on that tail and drive it out of the turn, and it just makes for a really solid and stable ride. That nose features a diamond tip shape. Now what that diamond tip shape does, it just kind of tricks the nose into being a little bit into feeling a little bit longer than it really is. Just cuts down the swing weight a little bit at the tips, and that just makes the board feel more predictable on its edge. It kind of stops the nose trying to push out. Now in terms of width, the Escape comes in at the upper end of a standard width. So the 56 waist-wise is 25.4, the 59 is 25.8, and the 62 is 26.4. So that just gives that perfect balance of volume to make it easier to float. It's also wide enough to prevent toe and heel overhang on most regular sized boots as well. So you can ride this at a relatively shallow angle if you prefer it that way, and you're not going to have to worry about catching your tips of your boots and blowing out of the carve. Now in terms of the side cut, a mid-radius side cut. So the 56, 8.2 meter radius, the 59, 8.4 meter radius, and the 62, 8.6 meter radius. What that mid-radius side cut does, it just gives that perfect balance between short radius turns and long radius turns. So when you're on the cat track on the way home, it's going to feel really lively underfoot, but when you get out on the piste and you want to charge around, it's going to feel really stable on big longer turns as well. Now in terms of profiles, utilises CamRock. So what you've got on this is rocker at the tips. So those contact points are lifted clear, just makes it a little bit more playful, a little bit more predictable. Also gives the board a little bit more lift and float at the front and back of the board. That then morphs into a traditional camber that runs through the length of the board. That traditional camber just lets you compress energy into that side cut, and that powers that side cut along its full length. So when you're pushing hard, riding fast, you're going to get really great engagement at that edge, and it's not going to feel like it wants to wash out. So you can charge around in complete confidence. Now, in terms of construction, headed up by the Master Core. The Master Core combines Popular and Polonia. So the Popular just gives the board its foundation, its strength and its durability. The Polonia saves weight. To that, they then add beech stringers. The beech is a harder, stiffer wood, and that adds pop and power through the length and additional strength. You've also got spruce inserts in the tip and tail. Those spruce inserts, again, are harder wood, just add a little bit more power and pop into the tail of the board, just makes it a little bit more lively, makes turn engagement quicker and faster, makes turn exit quicker and faster as well. Now, in terms of the structural layers, utilises Nidecker's specific Triax plus 45-degree Triax glass. So that runs the glass at 45 degrees across the board as such, and then along the length of the board. That by cross-bracing the glass here, you're creating a torsionally stiffer snowboard. And it's that torsional stiffness that retains the energy in the board and makes it stable and solid and reassuring to ride. You can charge hard on this board and it's going to retain all your energy because you've got that Triax glass. Because it's a Triax 45-degree plus glass, it uses various densities of glass through the length of the board, just so that flex is really fine-tuned to deliver the perfect performance. You've also got pop carbon rods. They are like V-forks that run from the inserts out to the contact points, and those carbon rods just power up those contact points a little bit more, just give the board a more dynamic and lively ride. You can really load the board going into the turn and it's just going to grip and bite, and then you can load those contact points when you're coming out of the turn, just really give you a whippy powerful ride when you want to. But because it's V-forked, it still lets the board be relatively kind of playful through the middle. So you're getting that performance without the board being overly complex to ride. Now, in terms of the top sheet, it's a wood veneer top sheet. Not only does that look great, but that wood veneer is a really good dampening material. So it just takes out any high frequency vibrations. That just means you get that performance, but in a more smoother, friendlier feel. Now, in terms of the base material, you've got the N7000 base with carbon nanoparticles. This is a high quality sintered base and it's impregnated with carbon particles. Those carbon particles just break up the static electricity between the base, the water and the snow. Just gives you a faster glide in pretty much all snow conditions. You want to use a good quality wax on this base. If you do, it's just going to be super fast and deliver great performance. So there you have the Escape. Without doubt, one of the best value for money freeride boards on the market. If you don't ride the park or you only like to do the odd quick blast through the park, get yourself on a board like this. It's going to work better for you. You're going to have a better time and you're going to be able to explore the mountain far better.